I made a rash decision in 2009 and quit anime entirely, leaving the community for over 11 years. Since rejoining in 2020, I've watched over 200 anime in hopes to catch up and feel like a true anime fan again. Last year is the third year in this journey, and although I've slowed down compared to previous years watching only 50 anime, that's still way too many. Did I leave the anime community for over a decade because people were mean to me and the gatekeeping and toxicity of the community during the mid to late 2000s was soul-crushing? Yes. Have I been holding that same energy for myself since I returned in order to watch as many anime as possible to convince myself that I'm worthy? Yes. Because if you can't gatekeep yourself, then who will? So yeah, putting aside that super toxic mindset that I'm just determined to hold on to for some reason, let's get into it. I'm Nat, your Neko Deco Pop host, here kicking off part 1 of our series, The Terrible Anime. Number 50. Tenpuru is a harem so bad and so cringy that it legitimately took a bite out of my quality of life. I haven't been this ashamed watching an anime in a very long time. I'd like to take the time to personally apologize to my brother who would walk in at the literal worst times. I'm sorry to the FBI agent who has to monitor my internet history spiral into this fresh hell. And I'm sorry to my family, especially any ancestors watching over me. As Jews, you didn't escape Europe before the Holocaust and survived countless atrocities to provide future generations with a better life, to end up having a descendant like me squander that opportunity to sink so low. And most of all, I'd like to apologize to myself. I didn't survive a cancer scare, a double mastectomy, salpingectomy, multiple outpatient programs, addiction recovery, SI, and near attempts just to suffer through something like this. I deserved better than that. We all deserved better than that. 2 out of 10. Number 49, Demon City Shinjuku. Well, that certainly was a movie that someone made. On purpose. It was just really bad overall, with one of the worst dubs I've ever seen. See, I would enjoy bad dubs more if I hadn't already been spoiled by the unhinged and charming ghost stories. If y'all haven't seen that dub, please do yourself a favor and watch it. It is the most iconic English dub in all of anime.
Hello, sinner.
God, can you go bomb an abortion clinic or something?
You just wait. When that wonderful president finishes stacking the Supreme Court, we won't have to.
Now we'll never find out who the ghost is. I hope to God you're adopted.
Oh, the music teacher. What a bitch.
I told you I'm going to be fine. Why are you still crying?
Because these pajamas are gay.
I'm sure I'll live a long, miserable life of heartbreak and alcoholism before a ghost takes me out.
But even despite all of the downsides to the film, to be completely honest, this movie was entertaining as hell. I will probably watch it again with friends because it's kind of a blast to watch and witness the absolutely gorgeous shit show it unintentionally became. 4 out of 10. Number 48, My Love Story with Yamada-kun at level 999. It had a really cute first episode that I saw a teaser for on TikTok, so I gave it a go. But everything after that first episode fell short. The pacing was surprisingly bad, and I got so bored by the halfway point. This was another that I had to force myself to finish for the sake of making content since it was on my spring season list. Okay, so I always get pushback whenever I bring up my problems with age gaps, but I'm always gonna talk about it. The main character is like 21, 22, and her love interest is 17 and still in high school. Yes, it's only 4 to 5 years, but high school life compared to independent college life are drastically different life stages. It leaves the door wide open for power imbalances and predatory behavior. Like, it's really not hard to find men to date who aren't minors. It never sat right with me and ruined any remaining hope I had for the show. 5 out of 10. Number 47. Reborn as a vending machine, I now wander the dungeon. So there's a joke in the anime community that they'll make an anime out of anything. And yes, they sure did. They reincarnated a guy into a vending machine. Can he communicate? Yes, but only in like 4 catchphrases that vending machines say. Is it absolutely stupid with a cast of characters who you want to root for, but Jesus Christ, they are the NPCs of isekai characters? Also, yes. It was an entertaining enough premise that was executed decently, but there really wasn't anything else it had to offer. I really hate isekai, so it's honestly a miracle that this got rated above a 4. I must have been out of my mind, but this wasn't entirely soul-crushing, so points for that, I guess. 5 out of 10. Number 46. The ice guy and his cool female colleague was marketed as a romance, but nothing ever happens. Is it cute? Yes, but does anything ever happen? No. Like, I'm used to slow burns, but at least you get some kind of confession or something to move the relationship forward. These dum-dums can't even have the simplest of conversations. It's gonna be season 25 before they get to first base. If you saw my last video or if you've seen any of my BL videos, you know that I am way too much of a degenerate to put up with this kind of slow burn. Plus, there's also a really weird and gross scene in the last episode that has to do with age regression with a romantic element. That shit did not need to be there. I am super sick of unnecessary gross anime tropes, especially when they involve romance. Like, it's 2024 now. Can we please start doing better? 5 out of 10. Number 45, 16-bit sensation, Another Layer. This puppy had all of the ingredients to be amazing. Time travel, 90s aesthetics, glorified eroge, aka borderline corn gaming, and behind-the-scenes goodness on how games are made. And yet, it fell so short. I'd say the first half of the series was pretty solid, but then the second half, especially the last episodes, completely fell off. Instead of just chalking time travel up to anime magic, they had to make it a intergalactic alien AI nonsense power system or whatever the fuck happened. And it says a lot that the last episode had the most plot points than any other episode, but the bulk of it was told in exposition dumps, and the episode felt like it dragged at 22 minutes. Plus, and I know that this is petty, but the main character's voice was like nails on a chalkboard. I could not stand it, and I'm sure it was even worse in the dub. 5 out of 10. Number 44, Noblesse, or it's Noblesse, I don't know how it's pronounced. I was excited about this one because it's based off of a manhwa, but woof. There's an entire high school arc that had nothing, and I mean nothing, to contribute to the plot, and took up 5 whole episodes. The pacing was so boring that I had to bribe myself with snacks while playing games on my phone to finish this one. Plus, that ending was so cheesy that even the modern day Disney Channel was like, you can keep that one. I just truly don't understand how they f***ed this anime up so badly. Plus, and I know that this is a bigger issue for manhwas being adapted into anime, but I wish that we had more of them that were kept in Korean instead of being in Japanese. They were able to pull it off in Lookism, and it really elevated the entire series. I know this is a much bigger conversation and way too much for this simple recap, but yeah, just something to think about. Let me know if y'all would like to see me do a video essay on the problematic elements of adapting Korean manhwa into Japanese. All in all, for a vampire manhwa action adventure anime, the only thing I was rooting for was a vampire to bite and unalive me so I wouldn't have to keep watching this. 5 out of 10. Number 43. After School Hanako-kun was cute for what it was, but had a fraction of what made the original series special. Thank God it was confined to 4 episodes at 8 minutes each, so it wasn't dragged out. But to be honest, this could have been so much worse. I'm very tempted to actually rate it lower, but it retains that score because the dub has Ian Sinclair, and I will watch anything that he's in. But yeah, overall, there wasn't much here, and these could have just been ending post-credit scenes tacked onto season 2. I might go back and forth and rate this lower over time, but for now, we're gonna give her a 6 out of 10. Number 42. The Masterful Cat is Depressed Again Today is a cutesy slice of life that was fun and wholesome to watch. But other than some nice moments, it didn't really have much to say. The main character is a useless piece of shit. Homegirl can't do anything except barely show up at work and drink whenever she's not at work to cope with her pathetic life. That poor cat deserves to be so much more than a house husband. I'm glad that he's able to go outside and do chores, but I don't know how everyone in the neighborhood isn't constantly calling TV crews on him, because if it were me, I would lose my shit if I saw him in real life. Let's pray that one day he's able to move out to the country and live his best life just for himself. Because yeah, he deserves better. 6 out of 10. Number 41. Cautious Hero. The hero is overpowered but overly cautious. As mentioned before, I hate isekai. But I gotta admit, this one wasn't terrible and even made me laugh a few times. It's got a cute concept that plays into humor and meta elements about the isekai genre. But it just didn't hold up for an entire season, and I ended up having to bribe myself by doing other things to finish it up. We're also going to take extra points off because I watched the first half with my failed situationship. And yeah, 6 out of 10. So to wrap things up, how did I feel about this first part? Well, I hated it. All of these anime were either terrible or paced so badly that I had to bribe myself like a toddler with candy and toys to finish them. I literally never want to see any of them ever again. And I'd recommend that y'all don't either. Next week, we're going to get into the mid edition, aka the it was okay but nothing special edition. Thank God we survived this week. If you like what you see and you want to see me suffer more, please consider subscribing and giving this puppy a like and a share. Thank y'all so much for sticking around, and I'll see all of y'all on the next one.